Welcome back to the Stop Snitchin podcast. Nathan,
Sersky.
Brandon, B-Rock. It's
one.
just BC TV Media.
Yeah, night edition, prime time.
Night edition. This is the first. This is definitely this is probably the latest we've ever done the podcast because your boy's on vacation.
Back, a whole week
We're
off. Man.
off, bro. We're off. Adriana and I are going to North Carolina later in the week, which is gonna be awesome.
All right, so why North Carolina? That's like a.
So I don't know if people know this. Like, this is gonna sound like a super like douchey thing to say, but when I was studying abroad, I found it's this website called skyscanner.com.
Skyscanner?
Skyscanner. I think it's skyscanner.com. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like you do a reverse trip. So it's or how I've used it is like, you don't care necessarily about where you're going. Mm-hmm. It's more about the price. So for us, it was like, okay, well, where's the cheapest that we can go? Direct flight in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So you just put that in there. You're like, from this date to this date, 2 passengers, direct flight, anywhere in the country, go. And North Carolina came up. Charlotte, North Carolina came up. So
that's dope. It's Charlotte.
Yeah,
right,
dude, we got 2 direct round trip tickets for guess how many dollars?
$45.
No, that would be even more incredible. But like, I think it was like $96.
Yeah. Okay.
Unreal, bro. And then the Airbnb is like a couple hundred, like on top of that. Like,
you guys are Airbnb
all on top. Yeah, we did it. It was kind of like the same thing that we did when we went to Colorado, which was like right before like COVID really hit. Yeah. We were like, oh, we should start to do this, like mini trips, kind of like middle of the country to the east, like under 3-hour flight. Like, where could we go? Like, fly there Thursday, have half the day Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and then like leave Saturday night and have the day Sunday. Yeah. It was like, you can definitely do enough in cities like that if you plan it out like a little bit. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I don't like staying in places too long.
Well, I also think that like, I don't know, man, a week somewhere, that's a long time, bro. And at that point, like, you really need to like be like partitioning out your time. What you want to go see, X, Y, and Z. It's like, we'll literally make a couple dinner reservations.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Google a couple things. It's really just to like genuinely be somewhere that you've never been before. Mm-hmm. And my whole thing is like, which I love that I can talk to you about this. Okay, do you feel like you've seen more of this country or outside of this country?
Now, I feel like a little bit more U.S. just because, I've been so many places now. I would say a little bit more of this country, but my foreign game getting up there though.
What I would say is it's like, I think personally, where I've been outside of this country, I've just seen so much more of. Mm-hmm. Like, in the amount of time that I've been out of the country, I feel like I've been more impactful in what I've seen, my experiences, X, Y, and Z. It's like, you take it less for granted than when I'm in America. And it's exactly like what I just said. It's like, it's a couple dinner reservations. You see it here, you see it there. But like, we take the experience of America for granted. Where it's like, the size of our country is, basically the size of the other side of the world. Yeah. And you don't need a passport to go to any of those places. You could just drive there. So that's why I feel like it's been more impact. I've definitely been outside of the country more than inside, but I've been telling Adriana, I'm like, I have not seen enough of like my own country. Like, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I've never even been to Las Vegas. I've never been to Texas. Like, oh, wow. Like little stuff like that. Like, I've basically been down the East Coast. I've been out to California a couple times in my life when I was younger, but like the Pacific Northwest, like, dude, Seattle, Oregon, like Portland in general, Washington State, like that's a whole Utah. Oh my God, I've been begging Adriana to go to Utah. Like, I'm right there. It's gonna be really close. Yeah. But like, I think when we went to Colorado, we had like an amazing time. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, but there's so much else. I feel like it's just like an alien. It's just like different parts. Have you been out there before?
You like Utah and stuff? Or
like Utah, like
I wanted to go to Seattle.
Washington.
That's like on my bucket list to go to Seattle. Shoot. One of my favorite places was Boston.
Boston's dope.
Boston's dope. We went to a Red Sox game, dinner reservations. We went to the Pixar Museum.
Oh, that's right. You told me the Pixar Museum.
Man, it was dope. Like, but you would have never known. At first, I was like, the going to Fenway was gonna be dope, but then it's just like, yo, Boston has some dope places. We went to Wahlburgers for sure.
Right.
Had
Yeah,
to hit
yeah.
that for the culture, but yeah, Boston was dope. Detroit was surprisingly really cool.
Yeah, never been to Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
You like Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit was cool. San Fran was amazing. San Francisco has like the best airport. Like I'm talking like just all technologically advanced. Like you're in
Easy to use, like in and out.
Yeah, like just like bro, you're in the waiting area or you're at your gate and it's just like charger here. Okay. You're
thinking about how many devices can I charge at one time.
Put your phone on the charger on the seat. Like it's like that. Like this is San Fran, so this is Silicon Valley,
I was gonna
all
say,
that
right.
stuff. Yeah, so it's like the airport is crazy. Been in Chicago in the summertime, fire.
I've heard outside of summertime, it's
you don't want to go outside in the
so
summer.
cold and windy.
Summertime is amazing though. So now the next one I want to do is Seattle for sure, just because I just want to go. And there's some cool places out there too. Like they have the seaplane out there.
That I just think it's like anything that I hear about, it seems like it's still almost like, I don't know, not like the old USA, but it's a little more crunchy. It's a little more just like unlike any other place in the world, where there's still like enough civilization for a suburban boy, but like there's still a cool city. I just drive that. So we're flying out to North Carolina. We'll be there for like 3 days.
That's a quick
have
trip.
A good time.
It's like an hour.
Well, we can, thank God, get a car for basically nothing. The plane trip basically nothing.
Well, this is the time to get rentals anyway, though, right?
Yeah.
Or is it still like inflated because of everything?
I don't know. The market is still very crazy in terms of like cars. I was just watching a whole podcast with Ryan Serhant. He was the dude from $1 Million Listing on Bravo.
Yeah.
Dude, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. Anyway, he's like talking about the housing market in New York or whatever. But the thing that I want to talk to you about first and most is talk to me about this diet that you're on, bro. What's going on? Because I need a better explanation of it. I think it's very interesting whenever you do these things.
Yeah, so I'm a Christian. So in the Bible, in the book of Daniel, in order to get closer to God, there's these things called fasts. And I think fasts are kind of like a religious thing in general. Like I know people from different religions that fast, but specifically Daniel fasted and he didn't eat meat, any sugars or anything like that, and he would pray 3 times a day, but not just like your regular prayer, like I'm driving, I might do a quick prayer. It's like not really just like praying for like maybe 10-15 minutes about things you normally wouldn't pray about. So the goal of it is to tap in with God more, or insert your religion, tap in with whoever you believe in more. That's basically the goal of fasting. But this specific fast, Daniel didn't eat meat, sugars or anything like that. So it's always like right after New Year, which is like the toughest time of the year to do anything, which is like what makes it really hard.
But it's like the big time of like resolution. At least that helps.
So it's
Everyone's
like it kind of
leaf.
goes hand in hand with that. Like people want to get healthy, so it kind of makes sense. But then it's for 21 days, so it's just like it's tough, man. First week is really not that bad. Like you're trying new things. Like okay, cool.
Motivated by the
you're
experiment.
motivated.
Yeah.
Second week hits and it's like all right, like
I need a Big Mac right now.
So like second week is kind of in the middle, right? So it's like you're craving things, but you're still strong. Like all right, I could do this. Whatever. Now the last week, it's like bro, I see anything, I'm like craving it. Like Wendy's 4 for $4. I'm like, dang, I wish I could have that. Like now I'm finding like substitutes for it. So it's like I'm usually going to Wawa. I might get a smoothie. Like
a pretzel.
Can
you have a pretzel and stuff like that?
Yeah, you can have a pretzel.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I might go to Wawa, get a smoothie. Might get a meatball sandwich, like whatever you get from Wawa. Now it's like I got to go plant-based, which they
this is what you used to do.
That's what I used to do. Now
you get a meatball sandwich. This isn't that bad.
Yeah. So now I got to go plant-based. So I got to go vegan, egg, omelet, whatever. Like things that I never would have even thought of. Like now I can't get a regular smoothie. It has to be a strawberry puree oat smoothie or whatever. Like, so it's just like, it just forces you to try new things. And I'm like going to Chipotle, and Chipotle has this like plant-based chorizo thing, which is, it's okay. Like, it was great at first, and now it's just like, all right, like, it's nothing like,
you're like, I've eaten this 10 times.
Yeah, it's
I
just
can't
like,
eat it
it's
anymore.
not worth it. So now it's like the home stretch, and it's just like, all right, like, you just gotta hold out. So I gotta hold out till the 22nd.
Can you, like, when you say like you're like the prayers are different, is it like you're praying for different things, or is it
you're just
is
like,
it the amount of time?
See, that's the thing that I'm like, you're supposed to pray. Like, this is the thing, right? In just anything, like, I'm not a long prayer. I'm not a long talker. Like, I'm just like, I'll go in the car and I'll pray for different things throughout the day. I might pray for you. I might pray forever. It's not like it's long drawn out prayers. Some people are. Like, it just depends on your personality, right? Mm-hmm. So your pop, if he was Christian, he would be somebody who would pray for a long time because right. He's a talker, right? I'm not that. So it's like very quick, 2 to 3 minutes praying for whatever throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Now with this, you're encouraged to like try to pray longer. So I think it is a duration thing, but I think it's more of a substance thing. Like, all right, what are you praying about? Like, maybe you take that time to pray for more people. Maybe you take that time to, like, you know, talk to God about what you may not be doing right. You know, like, it's really a conversation more than anything. It's not like getting on my knees and praying, although that is a proper way to pray. You don't have to necessarily do that. So it's just encouraging you to, like, you know, tap in with God more, or whoever, you know, you may believe in. And that's really the premise of it. And the discipline comes in the not eating. So you're replacing eating with, or you're replacing eating or whatever. Like, there's this religious holiday. I think it's Lent. Like, you give up something for Lent. So it's the same thing. It's
this is going to sound really bad,
yeah.
But I swear it's okay because it's me.
Yeah.
Is that only a Catholic thing, Lent?
I don't know.
Like, you don't do Lent?
No, I think we do. I think so. I don't know,
Lent is after Easter?
Yeah, I think it's either right before or after. Like, I get confused with these things too. There's so many different things.
But wait, I guess, like, main story is, like, do you not do Lent because it's just not a thing your family does? Like, is that an optional thing?
Yeah, I could. I guess it depends on what, like, whatever church or, you know, church body you're a part of, like, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, Lent is like March to April. Yeah. Which Easter's that.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, if you're Muslim, you have Ramadan.
Right.
So it's all the same.
Right.
It's all basically the same thing. You're giving up something for a period of time, and with that time, you're supposed to be, like, locking in with it's the higher being of whatever you believe in. Yeah,
it's predominantly observed by Catholics.
Yeah. So
okay, but Christians of all denominations can and do participate.
Yeah, so I think my mom's done it. Like, give up this for Lent. Like, you know, maybe give up social media is a big thing now. Mm-hmm. Like, you give up social media, and you're supposed to replace that time with, you know, reading your Bible or praying or whatever, like, however you want to do it. Or maybe you give up TV for a certain amount of time a day. Like, give up something that you do a lot, replace it with, you know, studying the word, whatever the case may be. I don't know what Muslims do, but whatever that is for them. I think Muslim is more prayer than anything. Like, so it's basically a self-discipline plan that is forcing you to stick by these rules, tap in with God more. How disciplined can you be? Right?
See, I feel like knowing you're a very, like, disciplined, like, grounded person. I mean,
it's really hard for me to do it because it's just
this type of
it's really
does this
hard.
Type of thing challenge you because it's food and knowing you you really enjoy that thing.
I think it's that I really love food, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm doing so much throughout the day that it's like, sometimes you just get tired and you're just like, all right, I'll just have this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really...
That Wendy's really, 4 for 4 is real easy.
Yeah, I won't do a 4 for 4. It's more like, so in LA, like, we're out to eat at a restaurant and it's just like, calamari is on the table. And I might get one thing. And the thing that like the entree, I might have gotten like an eggplant parm. But I got a calamari just because it's just like...
Yeah.
Everybody's just breaking bread. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard. Yeah. It's hard when everybody's getting calamari and you're like, all right, let me just get a salad. Let me get roasted veggies. Like,
do you think that's part of like the experience too though? Is like, I've always felt growing up, I guess my only like real connection to that would be like Yom Kippur, where you're like fasting for the day, or Passover, where you're not eating bread, leavened bread. Like that could also be a part of the experience, like feeling like an outcast, feeling like you need to explain yourself, feeling like you need to say something about why you're being different. And it's like, do I need to... It's weird. I those times of the year where I'm like, oh, do I feel the need to like explain myself to you?
I think that's what it is.
Not in a negative way, but it's weird to feel kind of outcasted, where you never even consider the food on your table.
Yeah. That's what it is. I think that's really what it is for me. It's not the food, it's the explanation. Like, I don't feel like explaining it to everybody. So it's like, all right, I just take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like weird, bro. It's like, yo, B, why you not eating calamari? Yo, I'm on this fast, man. Like, what fast? Then I got to keep explaining it. And then it's like annoying as it goes along.
I just ruined dinner. I'm not trying to make this a whole thing.
Because I'm like, dang, like, it makes me think like, yo, I got a week left and I got to do this. Like, it's just, it's just annoying. But, you know, the purpose of it is much more powerful than whatever annoyance that I might have of it. But, I mean, once the 22nd hits, bro, I'm going crazy. Like,
I'm going Applebee's.
Some people,
apps, 2 for $20.
Yeah, some people, it benefits them, so they lose weight because of it, and they stick to it. So it depends on the person. For me, it's like, I never really ate bad anyway, so it's like, maybe I mix in more vegan options just in general.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up eating good food, bro. Like,
eating that good.
Yeah, it's just like, you see a great steak on the table, like,
I mean, I think there's something to be said for that, bro. And like, I mean, even this week, literally this week, Adriana and we collectively have agreed that, you know, like, to get healthier for the wedding, we want to look the way we want to look, feel good about ourselves, like, do like incremental things to try to like help out our diets. So like the first thing we're trying to do is like lower the carb count, like just not eat so many carbs.
Yeah. It's hard, man.
Bro, if you know me,
it's a big part of your life.
Oh my God, dude. I could actually, for real, never eat meat again and just I could eat pasta, chips, butter, just all that for the rest of my life. I would be just fine. Like the protein comes into it at that point. So like, but kind of what you said is, I've realized that you really, when you take the time to really do an experiment like that and evaluate what you're eating, like, I don't think we really eat that bad. I mean, you're here for at least one dinner a week. Like, it's really not that bad. I mean, there's some carbs in there, but the funny thing that I've seen is, which my stomach and your stomach are different, but even over like 7 to 10 days of trying to change the way that I eat, if I cheat one night and like eat some just BS, whatever, hot Cheetos, this Cheez-Its, whatever, like I feel it differently in my body. I don't know if you'll feel that way when you're different and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go eat whatever, a Big Mac. And you're like, oh, this is like what I used to eat. Now you're like, oh, you know what? I feel this hit my body differently. That's just kind of what I'm going through right now. It's not like I really crave the carbs. I've realized that like, hey, if there's something good in front of me, I'm going to eat it either way. Like we just had it, grilled chicken, sweet potatoes, if I'm going to have it as my carb, broccoli, like,
solid.
It's all good.
Solid. For me, I don't, my body doesn't react that way. Like I can kind of eat
I'll just
anything. Yeah, it's just like, but I don't eat Big Macs all the time. Like I really don't eat fast food like that.
Us either.
Yeah, so it's just
but
like,
you can, unlike me, eat a lot of something. Like if I gave you like 5 chicken breasts, you could eat.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Actually, my appetite's going down over time.
It's because we're getting older.
I don't know why, man.
We're getting older.
But everybody said it. It's like, yo, you don't. Like,
and you're an athlete, but you're not like as active as much. You're not working out like that. Yeah, so it's like
after 2, I'll feel it a little bit. Like I can still eat, but it's just like not like before where, shoot, I used to go to your house and eat dinner, and then I wouldn't tell my mom, and then I'll go to my mom's house and eat dinner. Like it's not like that no more. I would definitely feel it, but yeah, man, I think it's more of like the mental battle of it, like, you know, being tired, just doing whatever I'm doing, but then also like, you know, I'm with the guys in LA, and we're at this really dope restaurant in LA. Like, we're at the Nice Guy in LA, the place Drake eats at. Nice Guy? The place Drake eats at, and Lil Wayne's there. And oh shoot! All right, so sidebar. So EYO guys are in LA this past week, right? We land, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna do an interview with All the Smoke, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes." So that was the set that you were like, "Yo, we need that." Yeah. So showtime. I'm like, all right, bet. So we hop off the plane, do the interview. It was dope. I'm seeing it. I've always seen it on YouTube. Now it's like dope to see it in person. It's like a little garage. It's not even that big of a set. It looks way bigger.
Is it as big as this? Bigger than this?
No, it's definitely bigger than this.
Like but twice the size, you think?
Yeah, it's like a big garage. Like, yeah, essentially. And they had different sets in there. So Hotboxing films out of there too.
Really?
Yeah, Hotboxing and Gary Owens show films out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like an all-purpose thing. So we do that, and then Matt Barnes is like, all right, like, y'all want to go grab something to eat? And I'm like, yeah. So he was like, all right, made reservations at Giorgio Baldi, right down the street. I'm like, all right, sounds cool, whatever. Matt Barnes realizes that he was supposed to go mini golfing with his son that night. So he's like, I can't go, but y'all can still go. I got the reservation. So we go. Bro, like, we're there for like 20 minutes chopping it up. All of a sudden, we see flashing. I'm like, all right, celebrity about to walk in. This is LA, right? Well, hold on. Before that, as we're walking in the restaurant, we randomly run into Bob Costas. Like, randomly,
the
bro.
NBC GOAT.
Yeah, so Troy's Troy's like, yo, Bob Costas. He's like, yeah, man. Like, he's cool as hell. He's short, but he's cool as hell. I'm like, yo, that was just Bob Costas. All right, cool.
But I'm sorry. Is this restaurant like big?
It's a big deal.
Like, big, but it's like, it a steakhouse? Like, what is this restaurant?
It's small. Like, a lot of the restaurants celebrities go to are like small and intimate. And
it's exclusive. No phones. You gotta have a reservation to get in.
Yeah, you can't just go in, right? So we run into Bob Costas. Bob Costas is cool as hell. We're like, yo, you sound like you do on TV. He said, yeah, this is my voice, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Chopping it up, cool. So we walk in. We're there 20 minutes. It's a good vibe. Then paparazzi goes off. Crazy. So I'm like, all right. So this guy walks in. And I'm like, yo, who is that? Like, it wasn't Kanye. He was skinny. And I'm like, yo, that's A$AP Rocky. Like, A$AP, bro. And
For
now,
real?
Yes. So now you know. So now you know who's behind him. You know who's behind him. So look, bro. I lie to you not, man. I saw this in slow motion. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who the guy is. I figure it out because of the swag, and I see his face. I'm like, yeah, it's A$AP. And then I look, and it comes. Oh my god! And then she comes walking in, bro. She has this freaking Gucci vest on, like just fly as hell with the Louis heels. Like, I'm like, bro, it's no way this is happening right now. So Rihanna walks in, bro. Just walks in the place, bro. Rihanna. I'm like,
I was gonna say, is Rihanna still his thing?
Yeah, nah, they're definitely together for sure.
Is she as tall as A$AP? I'm gonna fan
she's
out.
Tall.
She's taller than A$AP.
Yeah,
Rocky.
she is taller than him.
She's in LA.
That's
with
where they
A$AP.
live. Yeah, they live out there. Everybody's in LA right now. So it's like, Rihanna walks in, Gucci vest, like the new North Face Gucci collab vest, like smells immaculate. Like, I'm like, yo,
you're that close to her?
She's right behind us, bro. They're right behind us. Like, it's a small restaurant, so they're right behind us, right? And they're not there long, but they're there just enough to where it's like, yo, like, damn, that's Rihanna, bro. So we're trying to play it cool. Like, we're not staring, but it's also like, yo, that's Rihanna. Like, damn, cool, whatever. Now, mind you, I've been in LA a few times, so I've seen celebrities that I've known, but this is like, all right,
no,
now
that's
there's
OD.
levels to this.
This is like double A-list.
So I'm like, first thing I notice is, dang, she's tall. Dang, she's beautiful.
Shit, and, like, in person, like, that bad.
And damn, she smells good. Like, she smells amazing.
She got that Rihanna Fenty
I don't know,
on,
but
baby.
I don't know if it was like a collection of his cologne and her perfume, but whatever that was, bro, I was like, damn.
Bro, I was about to say,
amazing.
Guarantee you, A$AP probably looks as good and smells just as good right next to you.
For sure. So I'm like, yo, that's Rihanna. And my homie AB next to me is like, yo, like, I'm like, who's that? Like, bro, that's Rihanna. He's like, yo, that's Ree. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's Ree. But we're trying to keep it down because, you know, LA culture, it's like, you don't fan out. Like, this is what you see.
And you're in the restaurant too.
Yeah, like, we're here too. So it's like, and we got the Sprinter out front. Like, they rolling in Sprinter, so it's like, all right.
He said, I got my Sprinter, you got your Sprinter.
So she walks in, and they walk by, and they take her back to the kitchen, to the mafia table. You know, you seen Goodfellas. Like, they go through the kitchen.
Yeah, she's not sitting with everybody else.
Yeah, nah.
There's one table in the back, and it's for her.
So I'm like, dog. So this was like a 2-minute experience, but I'm like, yo, like, that's crazy. Like, that was Rihanna right there. Like, you're never too big to, like, fan out a little bit over a beautiful woman. Like, come on. Rihanna walks in, Beyonce walks in, Nicki Minaj, like, you're just gonna admire, like, damn, all right.
And in all honesty, I wouldn't even put Nicki in that category.
I would. I love Nicki.
But I mean, that level of iconic.
Nah, I think so. I think so.
I think but you wouldn't put Beyonce and Ree above Nicki in a list.
Nicki's a big deal, bro. If you see Nicki, if Nicki walks in the middle of Sicklerville right now, it's gonna cost something.
I'm not saying that.
If Nicki walks anywhere, it's gonna cost something.
Of course, but I also think that there is something about the partnership that we can't lie about, like the Beyonce Jay-Z effect.
Oh, you mean like
the Rihanna ASAP effect? Like,
yeah, I mean,
like Nicki does not have that type of person with her anymore. Now, the Nicki Meek effect. Yeah. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, yeah. Right. The way that you saw all those cameras come through, like, when they're talking to him.
Movie, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, what is going on out there? So, like, again, I didn't really, ASAP had the ski mask on, so it was like, whatever. I didn't really know it was him, but Rihanna walked, I was like, yo, that's Rihanna. Like, there's no denying that.
I've seen that body my whole life.
That's at Giorgio Baldi. Then we go to the Nice Guy, which apparently Drake frequents a lot. Lil Wayne was there the night before. And they're just amongst the people, bro, because it's like a no phone policy. Like, you can't take pictures. Like, it's like, just go there and enjoy the vibe.
Because if you're there, you're also meant to be there.
Yeah. So they take us to the Mafia table. So it's like literally a table.
Wait, this other restaurant?
Yeah, at the Nice Guy.
Okay.
So there's the kitchen, and then there's this little table. They got the plasma screen with the game on, and it's just like, literally just like a table like this. And it's like, they're like, yo, do you want to play cards? Like, it's the whole thing. I'm like, yo, like,
do you want to play cards?
This is like actually.
They asked you that for real?
Yeah. They're like, yo, do you want to play cards? Like, or you just want to eat? Like, it's a little vibe, bro. Like, in the kitchen.
It's your own party.
Yeah, it's your own thing. Like, literally, they call it the Mafia table. Like, no cap, the Mafia table.
Wow.
So it's like, LA is just a whole different vibe. But nah, bro, Rihanna is incredibly amazing in person.
Stop snitching. Okay, so here I have a reveal for you. There's something that you've never seen me with before. Actually, I don't know if anybody's ever seen me with this before. So, yeah, let me pull out my heat.
I know something you've never seen me with.
So, my vision I don't think it's been getting worse. But Adriana says it's been getting worse.
You got glasses?
So a couple weeks ago, relax. A couple weeks ago, we pull up to the Target Optical.
Yeah.
Get my vision checked. I still don't feel like crazy different about it. Mm-hmm. But they say it's the difference between like watching TV in like HD and like 4K. So, yes.
You got glasses?
Your boy got some glasses. Now,
the Calvin Klein,
this is going to be the original drop. So let me put this on here. I've worn them a couple times out. Here we go.
Oh, snap. I feel like I've seen you wear glasses before, though.
I've never worn glasses like this before. So my whole thing is, like, like right now, what do you think?
Yeah, you definitely look different.
I look different, right?
Yeah.
So, even right now, I'm so self-conscious. Because I'm not used to, like, having something else in front of my face.
Into the metaverse right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing into the metaverse right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I put them on honestly, I told the lady when she was doing it, she's like, have you ever done honestly, I'd never done a vision test like that. Like, before that, since I was probably, I don't know, 6.
I thought it came with, like, your physicals, though.
No, I don't feel like I ever really, like, my physical like that for my vision. Never. Yeah. Like, so when I was talking to this lady in the back of a Target, and she was, like, making me go, like, in and out, I had to have been the worst that she's ever had in her whole life, because she was like, it was literally like one or the other, and I was like, this one, I'm like, nah, I'm like, I can drive. Like, I don't feel sober looking this way, but, like, I would know this is, like, my cutoff. This one, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do anything. This one, okay, you're a little more clear. This one, you're not so clear. Like, it was so minute. So now she gave me these, and it's like, so apparently she says the old wives' tale is that when you wear glasses, right, like, your vision will get worse because your eyes rely on the glasses. She says that's not true.
Okay.
Which I don't know. But when I wear them now, it's like this weird, I don't know. It's meant for me to be like focusing on something because when I'm at work, I'm like looking at a computer. So I'm like trying to focus on one thing. Yeah. So honestly, it makes me feel like I'm trying to constantly like focus on different things. Mm-hmm. But
there you go.
What do you think about the look? Not bad.
Yes.
Different.
It's different.
So yeah, it's different. I mean, that's what I feel about every, like, literally Adriana's seen it, and I think my parents and Austin have seen it.
Yeah.
And they're all like,
it's different.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So you just wear them to work. You don't have to wear them.
I wear them sometimes, to be honest. I should probably wear them more with something like this, but it's the first time in my life where I got to a point where I'm like, damn.
Losing sight.
Do I like need glasses? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like, is your vision still good like that?
Yeah. I think I got.
I don't feel like I struggle with my vision at all. Yeah. I don't think it's that bad. She said I can literally use them whenever I want, but the more that I use them, it will help me, like, in the long term.
You know what I do? I edit in the dark a lot.
Like in the pitch black dark?
Not pitch black, but like, you know, I might be.
Oh, so the screen is like super bright in front of you.
It's just, you know, I think it's easier for my eyes to do. Like when everything's light, like it feels like I'm straining more to see, but like when it's dark, when it's like in a darker setting and I have the screen, it's like easier for me to focus on it. And it's just a vibe.
It's just a vibe.
Yeah, it's just a vibe. Like I would turn these lights off, go to the desktop and be cool. Like got this in the background.
Yeah, this is what I want to do in here is I want to get like, I want to put like the, I don't know, like dorm room, like that, like mood lighting all around, paint the walls, the LED lights, all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
And go from there.
I mean, it's a good look though. I mean, glasses are important.
Like, I feel the more that I wear them, I feel better about it. But outside of me wearing them all the time, like, I would never think to put them on.
Yeah. That's going to be the adjustment.
They're new. So, like, let me get used to it.
Yeah. The adjustment's going to be remembering to, like,
to put them on. Because I don't want to, like, wear them all the time. They're, like, annoying on my face. Like, I got to constantly be like...
Yeah, it's an adjustment.
Getting it right.
But it's like people that always had glasses, you see them without it, and it's like, yo, you look weird. Because we're so used to, like, people looking a certain way.
Yeah.
Except there are people that balance it out. So it's like people have reading glasses or something like that's probably more aligned with what you would need, just like reading glasses.
Yeah, I guess that's my thing. I don't think like I ever needed it, but like Adriana was so adamant that like.
But how does she know though? Shit. Like what made her?
Because I do think like when I look at things like this, like a very close up look on like a can or something, if I didn't have this, I would look at it a little bit harder. With this, I look less hard. I do agree with that.
So like this fine print
it
says every product that carries the Good and Gather name starts with quality ingredients that deliver.
Like you can read it. I can still do that, but what I would say about this, here, try these.
Oh wow,
go ahead.
This is
because it's nothing. It's really nothing crazy. It's a very light magnification. Oh, yeah, you look good, bro. Look like you own some Tesla stock.
Oh, some Apple stock. Yeah. I mean,
does that do anything for you? It's like a weird...
It definitely magnifies it a little bit.
Right? It just kind of clarifies it and magnifies it. I could probably clean the glasses off,
closer. Too. Yeah, the word's like a little closer.
Yeah. But I think the thing for me is when I put them on... So when I put them on... Mm-hmm. When I take them off, I feel this kind of like, ugh. It makes me kind of like queasy. Like I got to choose one or the other. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I am, bro. That's 27.
What's it called when you go from a hot place to a cold place and you get sick? What is that called? What is that called?
I don't know. Bro? A hot place to a
like
cold
you go
place.
from like it's like you get sick when it's like extremely cold out like it is now, but then you go somewhere hot. Like you go from somewhere hot to somewhere cold.
Is that
immediately.
a thing? Is that called a certain
look it
thing?
up. What's it called?
Oh, when you go from...
I'm trying to think of the name. Going from hot to cold.
Go from a hot place to a cold place.
Going from hot to cold.
Sickness.
These are the important things.
I don't know.
Pneumonia.
Oh, Jesus.
Pneumonia.
Like, no, I don't feel like I have pneumonia.
You have like visual pneumonia when you
like pneumonia is like fluid in your lungs.
But that happens when you go from like hot to cold. Like
is that how that
from
works?
an extreme temperature. You're going from one temperature to another and your body can't adjust.
My brother had pneumonia once.
Yeah, so you're having visual pneumonia when you do that.
Yeah. Like I feel okay right now looking at stuff, but when I take it off, then I'm like, I feel like I need to like reevaluate. Damn. So anyway, that's my big news.
Well, speaking of somebody that had glasses, rest in peace to Bob Saget.
Man.
That was a big deal. You don't realize the impact that people have until you like they die and you just go on social media and just like I remember when he died, I got an alert from the like Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Tonight, like all these different things. I think like all the Full House cast released the same photo and same caption at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
Were you a big Full House fan?
I wouldn't say like. I mean, I definitely enjoyed the show. Like I do remember watching it like on Nick late at night. You know what I'm saying, or whatever it would come on. Like that was a point in time where I would do that. I wasn't like a fanatic, but I mean, like what I do know is everybody knew Full House. Like when we were in San Francisco, bro. And the guys were showing their homies back from New York, like, yo, this is the Golden Gate Bridge. They were like, nah, that's the Full House Bridge. Because it would be in the title.
In that opening title scene.
Yeah, like, nah, that's the Full House Bridge. Like, that's how people knew it. So it was a big deal. And I do obviously know that it was a big deal, but it's just like, nah, it's like huge. That's like a huge, like, thing that if you grew up in that time, late 80s, mid 90s.
Yeah.
Danny Tanner was your dad. You know
I think,
what I'm saying?
you know what I've always thought is like, I wasn't, you know, my parents, I wasn't really a Nick at Night guy. I wasn't really up late. There wasn't a lot of like shows that I was watching in my own bedroom, like on my TV or something. Cause that was like 10:30, 11 o'clock on Nick at Night and stuff, right? Like that was what our generation watched in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, like Fresh Prince.
Yeah, like all that got like reborn by this. Yeah. How I really found Bob Saget was like through my love of stand-up comedy as I got older. And I don't know if you've ever heard his stand-up comedy, but it is pretty X-rated, raunchy. It is not Danny Tanner, bro. Like, so I really like grew to like really respect him as like a comedic actor, a stand-up comedian. Like, he really had a lot of range. I don't think that's easy to go from something like Full House, which is like, right, America's father, TV, PG, with some Olsen twin babies, with a laugh track in the background, to like, if you watch any of his stand-up comedy, it's nothing I would want to reference right now. Like, he's really raunchy and out there. And I was like, oh, wow. And when he passed, I saw that like variety and the type of person in the entertainment industry that really respected him. Everyone from like a stand-up comic to like a movie actor, a writer to a producer. And at 65, do we know what he died of? Is there anything that came out about it? He just passed away.
He wasn't drinking. I feel like it's been a lot of those kind of deaths nowadays where it's just like,
it's like a heart attack or something. You just die.
Like, there's no
at 65, bro.
Yeah, so you're still relatively not young, but he wasn't like old. Like he was, you know.
Put it this way: like at 65, I feel like I'm at a point now where I hear 65 and think that's young.
Yeah, it's not that old.
Yeah, like I don't even think
retirement age now.
Yeah, God willing, before that, but yeah, right. Like exactly,
I think it is.
65. Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, traditionally. I mean, for us. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, man. I just remember, like, I definitely remember watching the show and, like, really liking it. Like, it was a cool show. But I mean, some people lived and died by those kind of shows,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like if Will Smith died, God forbid. I mean, you would just
I think
see,
that
like,
would be another level.
yeah, that would just, you know, like when people fall in love with you on something like that, because that, like, the 90s were the times of the like the TV show,
The
Seinfeld,
sitcom. Yep.
Full House, like stuff
Even
like that.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, yeah. Nowadays it's all series now, so it's like Succession, Game of Thrones, like that's what's ruling the day. Back then it was like you got 30 minutes on a Monday night, and everybody was watching.
Yep.
That. That's why I Love Lucy.
I was just about to say.
That's what they were
is
saying.
Is that something we can connect on that we've watched both recently?
Yeah. Being
okay,
the
so
Ricardos.
Being the Ricardos.
Fire.
So, because I need to start to pin this down so we can have some consistency here.
Yeah.
So out of 5 stars, how many for you?
4. It was
Really? You're high on it.
Well, my experience. Well, we had different experiences. We were talking like my mom grew up watching I Love Lucy, so my mom still watches I Love Lucy.
Similar to Adriana.
So I'm very
grew up watching with her
familiar
mother.
with I Love Lucy. So I was very interested in it, and I remember it being a thing. I didn't know it was going to be a thing this soon. I didn't know it was dropping like in December. So when I saw it on Amazon Prime, I was like, oh, snap, is this the movie? Like, I didn't know if this was actually the movie or if it was like a little documentary, but it was the movie. And I was like, yo, like, this is dope. And the craziest part is my mom didn't like the movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, why don't, like, but my mom's weird about movies. Like,
But she's such a fan of the show. I could see why
Yeah.
you don't want to watch a reenactment of it.
Yeah, but I'm like, in there, I love, like, I remember we watched the Mr. Rogers thing, and I was like, yo, I love this. Like, I love when it's retold and it's, like, reenacted.
Wait, you mean the Tom Hanks one or the documentary?
Well, both. But, like, you know, specifically,
because we saw the documentary in the theater, right?
The Tom Hanks one specifically, like, seeing people reenact real-life figures that, Mr. Rogers still alive, right?
No.
He's not dead?
No,
He's dead?
he definitely died.
Okay, got you.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
He was like... Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but like seeing people reenact those kind of things that we all know and love, like that was dope. And obviously Aaron Sorkin, the writings are gonna be amazing, the back and forth. And Aaron Sorkin has this he always has these plot lines that go like they're not chronological, if you know what I'm saying. It's like it'll start somewhere and then it goes back to the main meat and potatoes of the movie, which was Lucy and not Lucy and Ricky, but Lucy and whatever the guy's name was.
Isn't his name Ricky?
Desi Arnaz. He's Ricky on the show.
And Desi.
Desi Arnaz, they were going through this week of tumultuous news because they were saying that Lucy was a communist. Yeah. So Aaron Sorkin's style of filmmaking is that's the main plot, and then you find out the chronological story as you go along. So same thing with Jobs, right? He did Jobs. So Steve Jobs, that movie was broken up into the keynotes, but through the keynotes, you found out his chronological story. So that's the same thing.
It's an excellent reference.
Yeah, that was Molly's Game was the same way too. So I'm like, all right, so that's Aaron Sorkin's like swag.
That's interesting. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I just realized
he does like pinpointed. Right. In Molly's Game, it's like the litigation, it's the meetings with the lawyers, and you find out in between.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
Yeah, you know what? Because we were just watching The Social Network. Yeah, same thing.
It's the same thing.
Litigation, all that.
Yeah. And it takes you through like the...
Someone's got to pay you for this, man.
Yeah, man. Like, but Aaron Sorkin's a GOAT. Like, you got to be a GOAT to
That's
like
very interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So everything always is going to point back to this singular plot line. You know,
and most of the time it's either pre or post.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never it's never
Aaron
a current
Sorkin
moment.
always starts off with the thing. Like, he's never like in the beginning.
Outside of Trial of the Chicago 7, I feel like that was like a full
yeah.
But no, you're right. Even then, right? The trial is
trial.
He's referencing the trial.
Yeah, so
the story is about what's happening currently.
Even that, he's referencing the trial, but whoever was on the stand at that time, you would tell their story.
Back.
Yeah. So, and it's smart because it lets you know like what the main thing is, but it also gives you the right amount of backstory for the right amount of time. I think he did it best with Jobs, though. That was incredible. To break up the movie into the keynotes that he did from the first one all the way into the one before he died, like, I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, same kind of plot line and being the Ricardos, but Nicole Kidman.
I was gonna say, so lead actor and lead actress. What are your ratings for Nicole Kidman and
Nicole
Javier
Kidman
Bardem?
Was like 10 out of 10.
I thought she was also
just
incredible.
Watching the shows, and you can even go on YouTube, and you know how they do the,
she
scene
looks
by scene.
just like her.
Yes.
Just like Lucille Ball. It's unbelievable.
They killed
the costume and the makeup.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They killed, like, Nicole
her
Kidman
eyebrows, everything. But I agree with you.
Yeah, like, she, from, like, the way Lucy talked, the mannerisms, like, everything, where I'm like, yo, this is, like, crazy. The guy that played Desi, he didn't really look like Desi.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, he didn't really look like him, but he had the charisma for sure that I remember watching. So I would give him, like, a 4 out of 5, but Nicole Kidman was like, she should win something. She has to win something.
Okay.
Just off the strength of...
And you were a fan of the writing.
Yeah, for sure.
You liked it.
The banter was amazing. The, like, how they both were vying for power. Like, their relationship was run on power. Like, a power dynamic. Like, Nicole Kidman was Lucy, who was the biggest star in the world, but Desi was the man really making it happen from the business perspective. And he always wanted to have a one-up on Lucy, but Lucy, being the leading woman, kind of wanted to have a one-up on him. And their relationship was kind of driven by sex more than anything else. Like, they really broke that down really, really well. And it's kind of like gives you an inside glimpse to, like, one of the first celebrity marriages playing out literally on TV every week. And kind of the dynamic of that from the perspective of a viewer, because a viewer is looking at them as the couple of couples. This is what we aspire to be. They're laughing, they're joking, but behind the scenes, it's like she barely sees him. He's out cheating. Like, all she ever wanted was a home, and he was never there to make it a home. Like, all these different dynamics, and just being a woman at that time, like Lucy, like I Love Lucy, like they were saying that a hit show would get like 15 million viewers in a night.
Right.
I Love Lucy would get 60.
I think it was like a hit got like a million, and she got like 50.
Yeah, something like
that's what they said in the movie, where
amount.
It was like literally from 7 to 7:30 there was less water running.
Yeah, exactly.
There was less, I don't know, electricity being used in the kitchen. It was like the entire country stopped to watch it was like 50-60% of people who had a television watched I Love Lucy for 30 minutes on television.
And then you add to that the fact that, you can still watch it on TV Land now. Like, everything now. And you think that Desi Arnaz was the one who created the rerun in the show. Because Lucy was pregnant, and they couldn't film her while she was pregnant. So Desi was like, all right, well, during this time that she's pregnant, we could just rerun the shows that we've already done. And they were like, people won't watch repeats of the show.
They didn't put that in the movie. That's a thing?
He was the architect behind that.
Like,
there's a lot of
like syndication.
He invented that.
That wasn't in the movie, was it?
No.
That's just something you know.
Yeah,
I was like, that would have been a huge part in the movie.
Desi Arnaz is a freaking legend, bro.
Like a TV business mogul.
Yes. They had their own production studio. So that studio they were working out of, that was theirs, which also housed Star Trek, the original Star Trek. They started that show. They started things like Mission Impossible was shot there. Like, all of these shows that are beloved were shot through Desilu Productions.
Really?
So they're like controlling every aspect of everything. Like, they're in the show, they're behind the scenes, they're running CBS, like they're doing all of that. So, which I'm mad the movie didn't show that. Like, they showed it in part, like they showed it in bits. Like, if you remember the guy, J.K., what's his name?
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, so he plays
the
Fred.
GOAT.
He plays Fred. And
the best.
If you remember in the movie, he's like, Lucy, like, part of the problem is Desi wants to feel empowered. Like, he's actually the person behind the scenes doing this. So you have to give him that power as a man.
There's the ego.
There's the ego that you have to feed. And this is the 50s and 60s. So it's like, at the time, that was the power dynamic. Maybe a little different now, but it's like, at the time, it's like, no, you feed the man's ego. Like, he's the head of the household. What you guys have is different because you're the leading lady and he's kind of like the supporting actor. But behind the scenes, he's the one that's making all the plays, and he's the one that's really bringing in the money because of the business decisions that he's making. So Fred was like, in order to save your marriage, you have to give him that power,
right?
Because
as a star, Lucy, you own him, for time on screen. But that's the
thing, like Desi Arnaz was a huge deal, but Lucille Ball, like that is like. You can't get bigger than that.
Most people would still know that name. Over Desi.
You can't get bigger. Yeah, you can't get bigger than Lucille Ball. Like that is it. Like everybody is aspiring to be, man or woman is aspiring to be as big as Lucille Ball was at that time. So it's like they kind of, Aaron Sorkin focused on that a little bit. Like I think the movie had everything, bro. Great acting. Even if you go on YouTube now and just look at scene by scene, it's like right there. Like there's not a lot of differences.
Yeah.
I loved how they incorporated the present day interviews.
I was gonna say they had the real producers or like assistants and stuff on the movie. In the movie,
commenting like, "Yo, it used to be like this. I remember this." Like I love those kind of story techniques. Like it just had everything for me. Like if you're a fan of film, and obviously if you're a fan of I Love Lucy, like I think you're gonna love that movie for sure.
Yeah, I've never watched an episode of I Love Lucy. I should. You're really right. Good. And after watching the movie, I was like, okay, I appreciate the depth. I think what you're saying was I was more interested that he chose, because Aaron Sorkin he'll choose a period piece. That is very common for him, right? It's a finite amount of time within the realm of these people that we're talking about. Like Moneyball is a season of baseball.
Yeah.
The Social Network is essentially a couple. Moneyball is the best movie he's ever made. I mean, it's Adriana's favorite movie.
Yeah, Moneyball is incredible.
Moneyball is an incredible, but whatever. So when you talk about all these movies, there's always a piece of. It's a finite amount of time within the realm of this giant story that he's choosing about. It's a very specific piece. Yeah. So like with meeting the Ricardos, it was a really interesting amount of time, because even to this day, I talk about I Love Lucy or Lucille Ball. Now in 2022, I do not think one of the first things out of people's mouths was like, but remember when she was outed as a communist?
Yeah, I never heard
You've
that
never
before.
Heard that before.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool like moment of their life where it's, the fire's all the way turned up. Her relationship's going crazy. The show is out of control popular. Yeah. And now all of that is meeting at this moment where it's also the Cuban Missile Crisis, where it's like, if you're a communist, we don't care how big you are the enemy of our entire life.
Yeah.
And her husband is a product of Cuba, and there's all these other things going on. Like, it was a really hard moment to grasp on.
Yeah.
And I think between his writing for her for the movie, for him for the movie, and then for both of them for the show, because he's also writing dialogue for the show. Yeah. I don't know if he's pulling exactly line for line from those episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, either way, I'm sure there has to be a little bit of flexibility with what he's doing. I'd never seen him do something like that between different mediums of in and out of TV, in and out of the movie, in and out of personal life. I don't know if anyone's better than him, man.
Yeah. I mean, he pays homage.
It still was not my favorite movie. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's not my top 2 or even 3 or probably 4 movies that he's made.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are moments of dialogue and storytelling in the movie that I don't think there's more than single-digit writers in all of Hollywood or professional writing that can do what he does.
He's one of one. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing movie.
I give it a 3 out of 5. It was like out of like 100 on the tomatometer, I'd give it like an 80. Like it's certified good. Fresh for me.
Yeah, that's good.
100%. I would recommend it.
So you really give it a 4 out of 5.
I wouldn't give it a 4 out of 5, but I would recommend it over Licorice Pizza. I would say go watch the Ricardos over Licorice Pizza. I think it's more palatable. It's easier to comprehend. Better story. It's better writing. Mm-hmm. I still think that Cooper Hoffman is probably one of the best leading roles that I've seen in Licorice Pizza. Mm-hmm. I think he's phenomenal. But I do think Nicole Kidman is a very, very, very special performance.
How much time you got left?
Not much, but go for it.
I was gonna say, I just think they're two different movies, though. I think
for
writing
sure.
from an adolescent's point of view and writing from the point of view of Aaron Sorkin is different. I think Licorice Pizza was intended to be awkward because we talked about it. Like, it's just that's how you feel when you're 14 and 20, like whatever they were. Like, 15
I just mean like what the cards they're dealt. Like, I just think the cards he was dealt, just unbelievable. Yeah. And I also didn't know who he was or what that was going to be. But I also think that it has been a very long time since I've seen Nicole Kidman do something like what she did in Meeting the Ricardos.
Well, you didn't watch her HBO one, The Undoing?
Well, yeah, The Undoing is great. But I mean, that was more of like a story that I felt was incredible. I don't know if she was the most incredible in that movie. I feel like in Meeting the Ricardos, her as an actress portraying this bigger than life mogul celebrity rock star actress. Yeah. She brought that.
Yeah. Shout out Nicole Kidman, man. She's been on a run.
You can make that the title of the episode. Shout out Nicole Kidman.
Shout out Nicole Kidman. She's been on a crazy run this year. But yeah, it was a great movie, man. We gotta figure out what's the next one.
You already know what the next one is. I've already watched it. Now you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about it. So I think next up will be Macbeth. Stop snitching.